General Hospital. Who shot Drew? Willow's ex-murder, or mob hit gone wrong. General Hospital sees Drew Cain Quartermaine out of surgery, but in critical condition with 2 bullet wounds in his back, leaving the huge question of who pulled the trigger. Who shot Drew? There are some red flags about Willow Tait, Katelyn MacMullen, but also about some other people, including some of the mob men in Port Charles. Unraveling the mystery. Who shot Drew Cain Quartermaine in Port Charles? Right now, Drew almost died in surgery. The shooter clearly meant to end his life. 2 bullets in the back means they were not playing around. Could Willow be so angry and feel like she's not with her kids because of Drew, and she's the one who tried to kill him? In a recent video, we leaked that Drew was going to be targeted. Our source was saying either stabbed or shot. They were right about the attack and all this other stuff, but it was a gun that took him down. They also leaked about the framing we're going to talk about. But who's got a gun lying around their house, except mobsters like Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, and Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, and cops like Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, and of course, Anna Devane, Finola Hughes? Or WSB spies like Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, and Colette Moreau, Mercedes Lopez Renard? Most of Port Charles isn't walking around packing heat. Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, is, but he isn't even in town, so he's got a rock-solid alibi. General Hospital whodunit. Bottom line, we've got a whodunit on our hands. The list of people who want Drew dead is basically the Port Charles phone book. If they still made a phone book, that would be the suspect list. But our leaker also said he's going to survive, and we're definitely seeing red flags about that, too. It definitely seems like this is going to be a full-blown mystery. When Willow heard that Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, saved his life after Drew crashed in surgery, she did thank her and seemed sincere. But that doesn't really take Willow off the suspect list. We're going to talk more about why it might have been Drew's ex-fiancée that shot him. But first, let's look at some others on the list real quick. Alexis Davis, Nina Reeves, and Portia Robinson, examining their alibis and motives. Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, and Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, both want Drew dead because of family. When Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, came home during the rainstorm, she was calling out to Alexis, but she wasn't there. General Hospital was trying to make it seem like Alexis might not have an alibi for Drew's shooting. But Alexis says she was downstairs with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, who of course she can't use as her official alibi. So Ava Jerome, Maura West, and Christina are going to have to be her alibi, which may seem strange to the PCPD given that Ava and Christina's dislike of each other is very well known, and Alexis and Ava are not close by any means. Alexis suspicions a lobby. Why would they have all been together? I think Chase is going to feel like they're lying, kind of like he felt like he was being lied to at the hospital today. We also know with Nina, she doesn't want Willow back in Drew's life, and she was worried that they were going to reunite. Nina told Portia that as long as Drew is breathing, Willow won't be free. And Portia said, none of them will. Those two were saying that while they were having drinks, and then the bartender came back by their table, and Nina and Portia were gone, and there was money on the table. They were out of there. They might have conspired against Drew again. Maybe they worked together and shot him because later at General Hospital, Nina gave Willow an alibi. She told Chase that they were out for a walk together. But he knows they're estranged, so he thought that was dodgy and they were lying. Willow accused her mom, Nina, of trying to use her as an alibi. That makes Nina look guiltier and Willow slightly less so, just based on that conversation alone. But it's not enough to take Willow completely off the suspect list. The Ashford family's connection to Drew Cain Quartermaine's shooting. We've also got the Ashford family, Portia, Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, and Trina Robinson, Tabiana Ollie. We know Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, was with Trina during the shooting, so she has got a solid alibi, even though they're going to have a hard time explaining where they were. Plus, Trina lacks that killer instinct. Curtis flat out threatened to kill Drew, and Kai heard it. And Portia truly despises the man. As I said, she might have worked with Nina. However, I don't think Curtis would have shot Drew in the back. Maybe in the front, but not in the back. For Portia and Nina, I tend to think they would drug him or set up a robbery gone wrong scenario. Plus, Portia was getting busy with Dr. Isaiah Gannon saw Andy Wilson when Drew was shot, from the way it looked on the show. Corinthos culprits: Carly, Michael, and Sonny's potential involvement. Then we've got the Corinthos culprits on the list: Carly Corinthos Spencer, Laura Wright, Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, and Sonny Corinthos. Carly hates Drew. She is in the club that wouldn't mind seeing him dead. Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, heard that. But I feel like she is a red herring. Carly had no real reason to step out of the lines and kill Drew because he was losing and her side was winning. Michael can be sketchy when he needs to, but he didn't need to kill Drew. However, Michael doesn't have an alibi, and he was in the area because Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, saw his car parked down the block right near Drew's house. Michael a top suspect on General Hospital. That makes Michael look culpable, and Tracy told him, "Find an alibi and don't say anything else to me about any of this." As for Sonny, I think we all know he would enjoy shooting Drew once or twice or 5 times, but the timing makes it all wrong because Sonny was very worried that the custody case judge had just died in Michael and Willow's case. Sonny knows eyes are already on him, and then Drew getting shot would definitely point to him. He wouldn't have done that. Top suspects and framing theories. Who really shot Drew Cain Quartermaine? Also of note, in a recent interview, Cameron Mathison compared this Drew shooting storyline to the big heyday story on Dallas back in the day. Who shot JR? And we all know JR didn't die. That's one more sign that Drew won't die. But the shooter might creep into General Hospital and try and finish him off. My top candidate for this shooting is other mobster Sidwell or his son Marco Rios, Adrian Anchando. They needed the judge silenced and then poof, she's face down in the water, dead. Sidwell needed her silence because Marco ran his mouth, and then Drew was running around talking about the judge bribery that Marco told him, so he needed silenced. Sidwell, a top candidate on General Hospital. Both of these deaths benefit Sidwell a lot. However, Willow went MIA in the middle of her shift at General Hospital and came back soaking wet and upset. She could have walked to Drew's and shot him and came back to GH. But I still feel like she's a red herring. If it were Sidwell, though, he might be able to frame someone else because he's got Alexis's fingerprints on the Cassadine dagger. And you can do sneaky science, and you can transfer fingerprints from one thing to another if you have an expert and know what you are doing. Our leaker did say Alexis is probably going to wind up framed. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think Drew knows who his shooter is since he was shot in the back. Once he wakes up, we'll find out what he knows. I don't think he saw anybody, but he's probably going to have some ideas about who did it. Suspect list a mile long on GH. But again, the problem is too many people want him dead, so he can't tell the police, "This one person wanted me dead." It's like, oh, all these people hated me and want me dead. Right now, until other evidence presents itself, my gut says this was probably Sidwell. Although I think it would be great if it was Willow. I mean, she might have been leading Drew on to see if he could get her kids back, but then snapped when the custody judge was killed since Chase told Willow that he was working on the judge to grant visitation.